Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, I want to start with a confession. Every single one of us in this room, every single one of us watching this later on our phones we have, at some point this week, opened our phone, scrolled for 30 seconds, and felt something inside us shrink a little. A colleague's promotion, a friend's wedding, someone's new house, new car, new baby, new body, new business. And in that moment, without even realizing it, we made a silent, painful comparison. And we walked away from that scroll feeling just a little not smaller than we did before we picked up the phone. This, my brothers and sisters, is one of the quietest diseases of our time. Nobody talks about it in the Kupa. Nobody writes articles about it the way they write about bigger sins. But I want to tell you today, comparison is one of the most efficient thieves of peace that exists. It doesn't take your money. It doesn't take your health. It takes something far more valuable. It takes your contentment, your gratitude, your ability to simply enjoy the life Allah has already given you. Comparison is the act of measuring your full, complicated, behind-the-scenes life against someone else's edited, filtered highlight reel life. And when you phrase it like that, you immediately see the problem, don't you? You are comparing your reality to someone else's performance. Nobody posts their argument with their spouse at 11 p.m. Nobody posts the anxiety attack before the big announcement. Nobody posts the loan they took to afford the wedding or the years of struggle before the success story. You are watching a movie trailer and judging it against your own unedited, uncut, behind-the-scenes footage. And of course, you'll feel like you're losing. You're comparing the wrong thing. I always say comparison is the thief that doesn't just steal your joy, it steals your gratitude too. Because the moment you start looking at what someone else has, you stop being able to see what you have. Your health, your family, your roof over your head, your ability to walk into a masjid and prostrate all of it fades into the background the second you start measuring yourself against someone else's highlight reel. Now, why does this happen to us? Why are we wired this way? Some of it is simply human nature. Allah created us as social beings, and social beings naturally observe and measure. But so much of it today is manufactured, amplified, and monetized. These platforms are built quite literally by people who study human psychology to keep you scrolling, to keep you comparing, because comparison keeps you engaged. Your insecurity is somebody else's business model. I want you to sit with that for a second. Somebody, somewhere, is profiting from the fact that you feel not good enough after using their app for 20 minutes. So when I tell you to be mindful of what you consume, understand this isn't a small lifestyle tip. This is protecting your heart from an industry that is designed to make you feel behind. Let me be very clear about something. Though comparison itself is not always evil, there is a type of comparison the scholars spoke about that is actually beneficial. That is when you look at someone ahead of you in good deeds, someone who prays more, who is more patient, who is more generous, and it motivates you to strive harder in worship and character. Kind of comparison lifts you up. But the comparison that destroys us is the comparison of possessions, appearances, and worldly milestones. That kind of comparison does nothing but plant seeds of resentment, insecurity, and ingratitude in a heart that could otherwise be at peace. Here's something I want every single one of you to understand deeply tonight. Your life was never designed to look like anyone else's. Allah did not write two identical stories for two different people. Your provision, your timing, your trials, your tests, they are tailored specifically for you. The person who got married at 22 and the person who is still waiting at 38 are not living different chapters of the same book. They are living entirely different books, written by the same author, who knows exactly what each of them needs and exactly when they need it. So when you look at someone whose timeline seems ahead of yours, their career, their marriage, their children, their health, understand you are not behind. There is no such thing as behind when there is no shared finish line to begin with. You cannot be behind in a race that was never a race in the first place. Let me give you something practical now, because reminders without action don't change much. The next time that familiar sting of comparison creeps in, and it will, I'm not going to pretend it magically disappears. After one talk, I want you to do something that feels almost impossible in that moment. Make a sincere dua for that person. Ask Allah to increase their blessing, to protect what they have, to give them even more. I know this feels counterintuitive. Your ego will resist it. But here is the secret. It is extremely difficult to resent someone you are sincerely asking Allah to bless. Over time, this simple practice rewires the heart, is the warriors. It moves you from envy to genuine happiness for others. And that shift, brothers and sisters, is one of the most freeing feelings a human being can experience. Some of the pious predecessors said the sweetness of faith cannot be tasted. By a heart that carries envy, so removing it isn't just good manners. It's a doorway to a sweetness you may not have tasted in years. The second practical step, guard what you consume. If a specific account, a specific person, a specific platform consistently triggers insecurity or comparison within you, it is not weakness to mute it, unfollow it, or take a break from it. This is not jealousy. This is not being petty. This is wisdom. You would not keep eating food that consistently made you physically sick. Why then would you keep consuming content that consistently makes your heart sick? Protecting your heart is an act of self-respect. And yes, an act of worship, because a heart free of resentment is a heart more capable of worshiping properly. I want to close with something I hope stays with you long after tonight. Your life was never meant to look like anyone else's. Your timeline was never meant to match your friend's timeline. Your struggles were never meant to be lighter just because someone else's struggles look lighter from the outside, filtered through a few seconds of video. You are not behind. You are not less than. You are exactly where you are supposed to be in a story written specifically for you by the one who knows exactly what you need and precisely when you need it. So starting tonight, make a decision. The next time you feel that familiar comparison creeping in, catch it, name it for what it is, and redirect it into gratitude, into dua, into genuine happiness for someone else, instead of resentment. Stop measuring your life against a filtered version of somebody else's. Start measuring your life against your own growth, your own effort, and your own closeness to Allah. Because that, my brothers and sisters, is the only comparison that will ever actually bring you peace.